Your sensitivity is one of the greatest superpowers, and today I want to share 2 different practices that have absolutely saved my life and helped me protect and guard and also embody and honor my heart, my empathy, my deep feeling nature. And these are things that I have helped countless clients incorporate as well and seen so many beautiful results. Because if you're listening, if you clicked on this, then I'm going to make the wild assumption that you are maybe someone who calls themselves an empath. Maybe you're very intuitive, or you just really pick up and hold on to the energy of those around you. And maybe you have felt criticized for this, or you've been told you're overly emotional or too much. And these are all things I experienced as a child and even as an adult, and it kept me questioning the nature of who I am. It kept me feeling like maybe there's something wrong with me for wanting to be so soft or wanting to believe in the good and see the good, and feeling when the energies are off, when the intensity is strong, I feel it so deeply, just like when something is sad or beautiful, I feel it so deeply. And for years, I used to judge that and think that there was something wrong with me or that it was bad, that's how I was. And it was in my healing journey, because I went through a few years, especially after my brother Derek passed away and the grief was so intense. I had a lot of anger and rage at that time. If you looked back at that chapter of my life, you would not recognize me. I actually used to joke that I was the Hulk, because I would have this, I'd suddenly just be like, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, and like the rage would just come bubbling up from the surface. All the emotions, the anger, the heaviness, the hatred, the fury towards the world and the corruption and the systems, or towards the situation with my brother and the people involved and the ways it all came about and took place and took his life. There was so much feeling going on at that time. And then a few years after that, I experienced rape and once again had this horribly traumatic experience that continued to pile up the emotions, the lack of safety, and ultimately created a wall. Or it's like I put a guard up over my heart because of these things. And this is what these 2 practices I'm about to share with you will help you kind of crumble back down, because I want empaths and highly sensitive people to understand that you can feel deeply and you can be soft and you can be so incredibly heart open, and you can still protect yourself and feel safe and protected. And you can still feel grounded and in control, or not like you're going to be taken advantage of. Because I know for the first part of my life, that was what happened. If I was soft, if I was sensitive, if I was a bit naive and innocent, or only seeing like the pure and the good and seeing through these rose-colored glasses, I ended up hurt and taken advantage of and walked all over, countless experiences. So again, all those things on top of the kind of parental conditioning and programming that was handed to me, that it was too much and I was too sensitive and I needed to get it together and be more hard, and I was put in competitive sports and it was always about being the best, and all these things added to me putting those walls up. And I can tell you that those walls did not protect me. Those walls, well, maybe they protected me in moments from really unsafe situations, but they did not protect the core essence of me, which is soft and is meant to be here speaking to you today with this love and this warmth and this nurturing energy and feeling and connecting to the emotions, that was all cut off the more I put this guard up around my heart. So the first practice, and you've probably heard of this one a lot, it's such a token word or thing talked about, but I'm going to bring it in a different way, hopefully, is the inner child healing. When we go back and we can practice nurturing our child self who didn't feel loved or who didn't feel supported and seen as who they truly are, we don't only heal the past part of ourselves that we're still holding within us, if that makes sense, but we heal our present and our future. So in simplifying the quantum work that I do, we're doing things like timeline repair, because the past, the present, and the future all exist in the eternal now. And you ultimately want to be able to feel safe in the present moment to be who you truly are and to be in tune or emotional or open, whatever that might look like for you. And to feel like your sensitivity is a superpower. But if you're still holding on to like a backpack of weight from your childhood and all these memories in your subconscious of not feeling safe to be that way, or possibly even being told that was wrong, can you see how like holding that weight would kind of, well, not only weigh you down, but it distorts your energy and it distorts your essence, because there's two polarizing kind of energies at play. There's like the core you standing here wanting to be a certain way, but then there's all this stuff like wrapped around you that's creating this push and this pull and this collapse and this, oh, hide that, or don't show this, or that's wrong, and all these walls coming up. So it's almost like there's this beautiful, pristine light that's wanting to shine through, and then you've got these weeds or just this like messy gunk wrapped around it. So there's only sprinklings of the light that shine through. And you might think, well, this is keeping me protected, but it's not, because now your light isn't showing and you're not embodying your true self. So as I started doing inner child work and allowing myself to grieve those moments or feel the sadness and the pain and acknowledge how misunderstood I felt in my childhood, it was like those external claws and weeds and thorns and everything wrapped around me, all that baggage and weight could slowly start to be pulled off, and I could see and feel more of my true self. And I realized this is who I am. So I'm tired and exhausted, and it's actually causing more health issues to try to pretend I'm not this sensitive or this in tune. And it's time to honor that this is how I was created and this is who I came here to be. So the inner child healing allows us to sort of break those walls down and almost reparent ourselves in those places where maybe we needed that loving support, or we needed a compassionate guide to come in and say, hey, it's okay that you're feeling this deeply, or it's okay that you're acknowledging that, or like, what's going on for you right now? Please feel safe to share. And if you can not only shift that energetically through inner child work, but also start programming that into your subconscious, you create these new pathways in your brain that allow you to see this as safe, or this as your normal, or this as your standard for how dynamics and connection or relationships work, which is then going to strengthen the standard of what you tolerate as an adult. If we do not clear out and release the stuff from childhood, we typically tend to repeat it and perpetuate those cycles and continue to believe it's what we deserve, as well as energetically magnetize it and attract it, because that's the frequency we're operating in. So it goes on all these levels, right? The mental, the physical, the emotional, and the energetic. So I like to do this by bringing in my higher self and bringing in this beautiful, whole, nurturing, like full expression of me across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. And she comes in and goes back to those memories, and she is the parent that I always needed. She's there holding space or holding me or telling me the things that would most support me and helping empower me to see that this is beautiful and it's safe to be myself. And the second practice is the inner masculine work. And I'm going to connect this to the boundary setting, to finding your voice, to starting to honor and respect yourself, because a healthy masculine energy represents that. It's in integrity. It protects and provides. It wants to create this safe space for everyone to thrive. Unhealthy masculine energy you could see as more like the people pleaser and not really protecting anyone, so nobody really feels safe. Everyone's like walking on eggshells. They don't know where they stand. It's up and down and all over the place, right? Whereas a strong masculine pillar, it's steady and it allows you to feel like, oh, this is the boundary, or this is the protection. So when you're looking at your sensitivities or the ways you've had to put your guard up, a lot of times without realizing it, we're doing that from our wounding. And so we're not actually creating like a healthy masculine protector, or even a healthy feminine. It's more coming from the pain body and coming from survival mode and coming from a desperation to protect ourselves so that these things don't happen again. But it's a lot more scrappy. And I say this because I have like perfect images in my mind of my own process as I was starting to do the inner masculine work. I realized there were times where I thought I was setting a boundary, or I thought I was protecting myself, but it came from major defensiveness or major wounding. It came from the heavy emotional and energetic charge of the pain that still hadn't been processed. And I think this is normal because it's all a stepping stone to get to where I am now. But I just want to expand on it a tiny bit so that you can feel the contrast, and so that you can also acknowledge where you might be at or how you want to navigate this in a healthy way. The scrappy, pain-based energy is like someone asking for something, and instead of calmly, confidently just stating, no thanks, this is what I need, or this is what I'm doing, or like that's not something I'm available for. To me, that's a more healthy masculine protector boundary. It's like expressed but clear and direct and to the point. There were times where, because the pain was so heavy still, or I was finding my voice for the first time, I would come across almost snippy, and it would be almost like a projection or a blame back at the person. Or you could think of this as times where you maybe go, you don't even understand. And it's like, I'm angry at you because you're not getting it. And no way am I going to do this. Or how dare you try to ask that of me or take advantage. That's more like the wounded feminine pain coming through. And she's coming with a projection or a judgment. And the visual I see for this often is like if a tiger or a lion was backed up against the wall or in a cage, and it's been beaten and it's been hit and it's had rocks thrown at it, and it's starved, it's just been so mistreated, and now it's backed against the wall, it is going to be scrappy. So if someone comes in there, even if that person comes in with love and kindness, it is so worn down from the pain and from holding all these heavy emotions and all this hurt inside that it is probably going to just jump out and lash out, and it's going to be messy, right? That's how we can sometimes come across when we're first learning how to set the healthy boundaries or speak up or honor our emotions or create internal safety. And the contrast, so that can be a stepping stone, but it's good to be aware of and to catch yourself after. There were times where I'd kind of snip and then I'd realize a little bit later, oh, I don't like the way I came across, or I don't like the delivery, because it's not that person's fault for all the past things. They just showed up now in the present, and I'm kind of unleashing the boundary for all the years of past pain or past suppression. Okay? So then the contrast, or the next level would be the more you start to feel an internal masculine, which if you didn't have a healthy father figure in your life, this also takes some work. This is a huge part of the quantum healing hypnosis work that I do with clients, because we're basically rebuilding an internal masculine structure where there might be none. If your father figure wasn't around, or he was unhealthy, or he was stuck in the wounded masculine energy and those lower masculine traits, you don't really have a very existent inner masculine. So the process for me of building that up is what allowed me to start to strengthen and feel more stable and feel more confident and feel like, okay, I can protect myself because I have this internal protective system, this internal masculine architecture that can come in and go, no, that's not happening, or this is the boundary, or I will not allow that. And he holds the standard very firmly. He holds the protective grid around me very firmly. But because I feel so safe in that inner masculine aspect, it actually has allowed me to honor the feminine softness and the feminine emotions and my more extreme empath, in tune, highly sensitive side. Because I don't feel like I'm abandoned and I'm just so overly emotional or overly sensitive, and like that fear of it will be taken advantage of, or it's not safe to be this soft, it's not safe to feel this deeply because I'm going to collapse and then be vulnerable. That's what can happen if we don't have our own inner masculine. And this is where a lot of women that I have worked with, I've noticed this theme where they're outsourcing their inner masculine. And they're desperately looking for a partner so that they can feel safe, because they want that masculine structure and that masculine piece so that they go, oh, he will protect me. He will set the boundary, or he will respect and honor me. And that's beautiful. But it's a lot harder to bring that in if your own inner masculine is abandoned you already, or he's non-existent, because you don't have the masculine pillar to call in and hold an equal masculine pillar. When we come from the desperation and the wounding and all this pain, and we're going, I just need a man to protect me so that I can be vulnerable, a lot of times this creates, and I've seen it creates women attracting men who seem like they can play that role, or they maybe want the ego validation of being a savior, but then they end up actually taking advantage of her as well, because they have not yet embodied a healthy masculinity. So they don't know how to hold her. They don't know how to carry her emotions or create a safe container. They don't know how to be grounded and be this pillar. And they end up feeling so much pressure to be this for her. And she doesn't know how to create it within herself. So she continues to outsource even more in this desperation. and the energetics just get wild and they get very imbalanced, and it's very codependent and can eventually possibly turn very toxic. So all of this is to say that when you raise your own inner masculine and you start creating this stability within yourself, you get to walk through the world feeling whole and balanced and complete and safe to express both sides. It's at a point in my life where I can go, yes, it's safe for me to embody all the deep feeling, emotional sensitivities. And I could be in a room with people I know, I could be in a room with people who are complete strangers, but I know that I can embody that warmth and that light, and if anything is off, if anything feels wrong or disrespectful, that strong masculine protector is going to click on, and I can do it without getting wild and crazy or lashing out like a tiger cornered in the cage, but with a grounded protector. So it's this beautiful balance that has allowed me to continue softening and embracing the emotions even more, where really, truly what you're doing is creating massive unification across all aspects of yourself or all aspects of your psyche. You've got your inner child who feels safe to be who they truly are. You've got your inner feminine who feels safe to embody her natural state of being. And you've got the inner masculine there to hold his highest characteristics. And all of them are working in tandem. All of them are working to support one another and to allow you to be truly you. So those are two incredibly powerful practices. These are things that don't just happen overnight, although if you spend some time connecting to either one, like let's say you practice some inner child stuff today, you'll notice huge breakthroughs from a single practice of connecting back or creating that safe space or going back to certain moments and revisiting and rewriting how they played out and allowing your body to also feel safer again. Or if you spent the day connecting to a more inner masculine and playing around with what would it feel like if I had this level of protection and self-respect and this ability to set boundaries that honor me and are supportive of my highest good. You'll notice it shifts every part of your day, whether this is how you show up at work and career, whether it's what you believe about yourself, and it then boosts your confidence because you start to see yourself in a new light, or how your relationships play out and how you take up more space and feel more whole in these interactions. Every single day, you'll notice new layers shifting or anchoring in. And then down the road with your consistency, you'll be able to reflect back and be like, oh my goodness, I can't even believe how far I've come and how much safer I feel to be me. So I'm going to leave that here for today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments if there are things that resonate or you connect with. And if this is something you're looking for more support with, I have multiple free resources and hypnosis recordings on my website. I also have a ton of different quantum healing hypnosis activations, some specifically about your inner child, some specifically about your inner masculine, some about your intuition and connecting deeper to yourself. So there's really such a wide range. And if you need help finding the right one for you, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. Or if you're looking for more one-to-one support and mentorship through this process, you can send me a message there as well. And we can discuss your goals, see where you're at, and I can help you find the right fit and start supporting you through this. I want to end this by reminding you and looping back to where I started. Your sensitivity is a superpower. It's a strength. It is something that is so deeply needed on the planet at this time. We're going to continue to see, it might not look like it. It might seem like the old ways are bursting at the seams and getting louder and more chaotic, but it is crumbling, and we're going to see a beautiful transition back into the heart and back into the connection and the community and the empathy and the understanding, and more honoring of the emotional realms instead of where humanity has been trapped in the mental realms. So your ability to continue to honor, protect, guard yourself, but in a healthy way that allows you to feel safe to continue expressing these sensitivities is going to be leading the way. You're going to be a way shower. You're going to inspire and empower so many people around you. And it's beautiful that you get to walk through the world and feel safe to express and embody all parts of you, and to love yourself for who you are, because your emotionality and your deep feeling nature is absolutely not a mistake. It is divine design, and it holds so much power, and I can't wait for you to harness that and let that flow through even greater. So I am sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. I hope this was supportive, and I will be back again soon.